Imagine waking up to a world with no open internet. Every message you send passes through Moscow first. Your bank transfer, your private search, all rerouted. The web you knew is already gone. Deep beneath the ocean, the takeover has begun. This is not fiction. This is infrastructure. Whoever controls the cables controls the truth. Your data just became someone else's property. The internet has a spine, and it can be broken. What if Russia controlled the world's internet? 99% of global data travels undersea. Thin glass cables, thinner than a garden hose. They carry almost everything, everywhere, instantly. Cut a few, and continents go dark. Landing stations are where cables meet the shore. Seize the station, and you seize the signal. A handful of these stations control entire regions. Now imagine one nation owning the switch. Russian vessels begin mapping cable routes quietly. Specialized submarines hover near critical junctions, not to cut them, to listen first. Every tapped cable becomes an open ear. Traffic is copied before anyone notices. Then, quietly, rerouting begins. Data that once crossed oceans freely now detours. Every detour adds one more checkpoint. Every checkpoint adds one more owner. Slowly, the open web funnels toward one hub. That hub sits inside Russian borders. The physical coup is complete before most notice. Every email is a packet. Every packet has a path. That path used to be invisible, decentralized, free. Now every path bends the same direction. A packet leaving New York detours through Moscow. A packet leaving Tokyo does the same. Distance no longer determines the route. Power does. Every detour adds delay. Every delay adds exposure. Encrypted packets are stopped and inspected first. Metadata is stripped and logged before release. Who you messaged? When? For how long? None of it needs to be read to be owned. Ownership was never about content. It's about control. Every service provider now answers to one authority. Your cloud storage now has a new landlord. Even encrypted apps route through the same doors. There is no backdoor left to avoid. The invisible packet is now permanently visible. Anonymity wasn't hacked. It was rerouted out of existence. This is not surveillance by request. It's surveillance by design. The open web didn't die loudly. It died quietly, in transit. Encryption was supposed to be the last line of defense. But encryption needs keys, and keys need holders. A new law demands every key be shared. Sovereign encryption, locks the state, can always open. Every citizen's private key has a shadow copy. Foreign companies face a choice: comply or disconnect. Most choose to comply. Disconnection isn't survivable. Global apps now carry a second, hidden lock. It doesn't advertise itself. It waits, silent. One command activates every hidden key at once. Every private conversation becomes conditionally private. Conditional on politics. Conditional on power. Businesses lose trade secrets overnight, without a single hack. Journalists lose sources without a single leak. Dissidents lose safety without a single arrest. None of this required breaking any encryption. It only required owning the rules encryption follows. The lock was never the weak point. The law was. Privacy becomes a permission, not a right. And permissions can always be revoked. None of this needs new technology. It already exists. It's called BGP, Border Gateway Protocol. BGP decides which path your data takes online. It runs on trust between networks, not verification. A network can simply announce, "Send traffic through me." Other networks often believe it, no questions asked. This is called a BGP hijack. It already happens today. Now imagine it done deliberately, at national scale. Add physical control of landing stations to digital rerouting. Now the fake path and the real path are the same path. Deep-sea taps copy data at the speed of light. No latency, no evidence, no visible interruption. Sovereign encryption laws add the legal cover. Now interception is not just possible, it's lawful. Combine rerouted paths, tapped cables, and legal backdoors. You get a single point of total visibility. This is not one attack. It's a stacked system. Each layer alone seems survivable. Together, they remove every alternative path. This is how control feels. Gradual, then total. Engineers call this a single point of failure. Except here, the failure is the intended design. The Internet was built to have no single owner. This scenario builds one anyway, piece by piece. That is the real mechanism behind the takeover. The global Internet begins to fracture in response. Some nations build their own closed networks. Others form alliances to bypass the new bottleneck. New cables are laid, avoiding the compromised routes. This takes years and costs billions. In the meantime, the fractured web becomes the norm. Some call it the splinter net. It's already begun. Each fragment has its own rules, its own walls. Crossing between them requires permission, not just a click. Global businesses must now maintain separate versions of everything. One app. 3 compliance regimes. Triple the cost. Small companies can't afford to exist everywhere anymore. Only the largest players can operate across every fragment. The open web promised equal access for everyone. The fractured web delivers access by permission only. Inside Russian-controlled networks, surveillance becomes ambient. Not intrusive, just always present. Citizens adjust their behavior, even without being told to. This is called the chilling effect. It needs no enforcement. Fear does the enforcing on its own. Journalists self-censor before publishing a single word. Businesses avoid certain topics in every internal memo. Ordinary people simply stop asking certain questions. The most effective censorship never needs to say no. It only needs everyone to assume the answer already. But total control has a flaw. It's a single point. Every packet flowing through one hub can also be studied. Researchers begin noticing unusual routing patterns worldwide. The rerouting leaves fingerprints, even when hidden well. Independent engineers start mapping the hidden detours. A quiet, global effort to route around the choke point begins. Satellite internet providers see sudden demand spikes. Traffic that avoids the seafloor entirely starts to grow. For the first time, orbit becomes safer than the ocean floor. New undersea cables are financed by rival coalitions. The choke point that took years to build begins losing relevance. Not because it was defeated, because it was routed around. Centralized control, once achieved, immediately invites decentralization again. The harder the grip, the faster people build new paths. This is the same story the Internet has always told. Every attempt at a single, unbreakable hub creates its replacement. Control feels absolute, right up until it isn't. The Kremlin gained the switch. The world quietly rebuilt around it. Total control, it turns out, is temporary by nature. The open web doesn't die. It just relocates. So could one nation really own the world's Internet? Physically, for a while, yes. Permanently, the evidence says otherwise. Every closed system eventually meets an open workaround. The real question was never if this could happen. It's how long the rest of the world takes to respond. Right now, the cables beneath the ocean are still just cables. But every system this powerful is built one choice at a time. The question is, who gets to make those choices next? If the Internet's spine could be owned, who do you trust to hold it? This is Oviora. Keep wondering.